All right, well, welcome everybody. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Caroline and I am here with Ezzy and Rocky behind me. We are here at Wildlife Sydney Zoo on Darling Harbour. We are posting live. We want to do something really special for everyone who we know who's stuck at home at the moment. I'm going to say hello. We've got Keeper Sophia there behind me, and we have Ash. Keeper Ash is up the top there. She's going to be feeding a big mammoth crocodile today. Now you can see him right behind me. He is a saltwater crocodile. He is about 4.2 meters long, weighs upwards of 360 kilos, and we think that he's about 35 years old. This little lady next to me is Ezzy. She is a red-collared lorikeet. If any of you guys watching are from Sydney, you're probably pretty familiar with lorikeets. These guys are a touch different. You'll see Ezzy has a really beautiful red collar on her neck. The ones that you can see in Sydney have a green neck, and they're rainbow lorikeets instead of the red-collared lorikeets. These guys are found up in northern Queensland. Now, I'm not here to talk about lorikeets, we're here to talk about crocodiles and Rocky. Now, Rocky is definitely the largest resident of the zoo, and you can see him there. He's waiting patiently underneath Ash because he knows what is coming. Now, a pretty common misconception with crocodiles is that they need to eat every day. And lots of people think that they need to eat every day and they need to eat heaps every day. But that is definitely not the case. While these guys are definitely big enough to hunt something like a cow or a buffalo or a kangaroo, even if they wanted to, they couldn't eat all of this food in one go. Rocky here, his stomach is probably about the size of his stomach's about the size of a basketball, so he definitely wouldn't be able to eat all of that food in one go, even if he really wanted to. Here at Wildlife, we feed him once or twice a week. That's plenty for him, because wild crocodiles are able to go 9 to 12 months without food if they need to. We definitely don't want to do that with Rocky here. So like I said, we feed him once or twice a week. I don't know if any of you guys can hear the lorikeet that is behind me. I'm just going to quickly turn back to her sitting on my head now, being very distracting and quite annoying. Anyway, back to Rocky. His favorite food in the whole wide world is fish, particularly barramundi. You are correct in thinking that most of the animals here at Wildlife Sydney Zoo do in fact eat better than most of the keepers. Now, always got to be in shot, don't you, mate? Now, today that's exactly what Ash is going to be feeding him. She's got a couple of pieces of fish. You will notice that they are a little bit small. But that's really important. For us, giving Rocky lots of smaller feeds keeps him nice and active, nice and happy and healthy. But before we get started, if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them as we go through this live feed. We're going to do our very best to answer as many questions as you have. So start posting them now. And we've got Sophia here helping us. Now, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Rocky and his story. So he is a saltwater crocodile. They are native to Australia. They're found up in the northern region, so they like it where it's nice and tropical and warm all year round. To make sure that Rocky is nice and happy, because we are based here in Sydney, right on Darling Harbour, it is not tropical and warm all year round. In fact, it can get quite cool here in winter. So what we do for Rocky is his pool is actually heated to a lovely 30 degrees all year round, and even that land area that you can see over there, that's his basking spot. We've even heated the ground underneath so that he can bask in nice 30-degree heat. Have I turned it around the right way? Yeah? Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. I hope you all can have a nice, good look at Rocky now. So, talking about Rocky's lovely heated pool that the keepers don't get to go swimming in. Now, when we got Rocky, we've only had him here with us for about 3 years. And before that, he was actually from an area in northern Queensland called Rockhampton. And that's how he got his name. Rocky is from his original location in Rockhampton Beach. Now, crocodiles are quite territorial animals, particularly adult males. Now, we think it's probably likely that Rocky had a fight with a male while he was sort of coming into adulthood. He probably lost that fight. Crocodiles will fight to the death. So Rocky, instead of being killed, probably moved to a different location. He set up Rockhampton Beach as his new home, and he was quite happy there for a little while. But unfortunately, this beach was quite populated with tourists, particularly windsurfers. And Rocky developed a bit of a hobby that he would spend his days doing. That was actually stalking the windsurfers at the beach. So not ideal for the windsurfers or for the rangers in the area, as you can imagine. So what they did was actually catch Rocky up because he was a bit of a danger, because he is so big. They didn't want him there to be a danger to anybody, any of the public. So they moved him into a crocodile farm. And this crocodile farm thought, wow, this is a really beautiful crocodile. And if you guys can see, you might notice he's quite light colored. If you know anything about crocodiles, you might have seen some in different facilities or even in the wild, and you would have noticed that our adult crocodiles are normally sort of a dark green, murky color. But you can tell Rocky's definitely not that. He actually kept his juvenile colors. So that beautiful sandy color is pretty unique for an adult crocodile. And the croc farm actually wanted to breed with Rocky. So they decided that they were going to keep him. And so after he'd had a chance to settle in and get nice and comfortable, they started to introducing him to a female. Now, unfortunately, Rocky wasn't particularly interested in the breeding program, and after 2 failed attempts, they actually decided that Rocky wasn't suitable for this breeding program. And sadly, the way that Rocky told his keepers that he wasn't interested in their breeding program is by killing the females. Now, obviously, this isn't an ideal situation. That's why the croc farm then sought to rehome him somewhere else. And we were very lucky. We were able to put our hand up and this crocodile. Now, this was about 3 years ago here at Wildlife. And then once he was nice and settled in, our keepers started to try and do some husbandry work with him. Now, obviously, we took on a very big, kind of cranky crocodile, which we saw was his behavior at the croc farm. And so we needed to get a little bit creative about how we were going to look after him. Now, ideally, we would be able to put a little vacuum cleaner into his pond and clean up his mess, any mess that he's made. And that was really our plan for a long time. But Rocky showed us that he is an incredibly territorial and incredibly intelligent animal. And so our plan did not work. We had to get a little bit creative. And so what we did was employ the help of one of our animal trainers, and she helped us train our crocodile. Now, before anyone gets any ideas, we didn't train him to sit down or to roll over or anything like that. We trained him for behaviors that help us look after him. So what we did was train him to, on the call of a whistle or on a bell, go up that ramp that you can see there. He goes all the way up onto the land area, and he waits at that little wall over there. Now, this behavior took us about 9 months to train. Once it was nice and established, he's very confident up there. If you look really, really carefully, you guys can see some little lumps and bumps on the ground over there. Well, they're actually hydraulic gates. So those gates raise up to about 1.5 meters high, and we're able to very safely lock him up. All right, guys, so I'm back. I hope that you all can see me again. Looks like we had some technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're all back online again now. I hope you guys are still keen to come and join me. We haven't seen the best part yet. He's still yet to be fed. But first, we just wanted to show off that really exciting training that we were able to do with Rocky, because it's about us providing the best care that is possible for our beautiful crocodile. Now he's able to comfortably stand up there on land, and he waits there very patiently. We're able to send some of our divers in. Now we have 3 divers who are trained, and they go into his water and they're able to clean it, and we do that every single week. And that for us is so incredibly important. Training and conditioning is something that is a huge priority for all of us here at Wildlife Sydney Zoo, and it's about us being able to ask the animals to do something and having them make a choice about whether or not they would like to participate. Now, we know when Rocky, we give Rocky the opportunity to make this choice, and he always says yes, because obviously what he's going up for is some of his favorite foods. Like I mentioned earlier, all those barramundi fish that are his absolute favorite. That's what we're feeding him when he's up there. And he spends about 2 hours with one of his trainers. She tells him that he's a very good boy, and she gives him some special treats for behaving nice and calmly up there. And because he has shown how incredibly intelligent he is, we're really looking forward to what the next year is going to bring, and what challenges and what new behaviors can we train our beautiful crocodile to do. But on to what we're doing today. So you can see Ash patiently waiting up there to feed him. We can see Rocky patiently waiting below to eat. Ash has a few pieces of barramundi fish that she's going to tie up to a big long pole, and then she's going to hang that pole over the edge. Now, she's going to be very, very safe, so nobody worry about whether or not she's going to get hurt. I think I saw someone ask if she's going to jump in. That is not the case. It is not a dive board. It is an area with which to feed our crocodile. Now, we only do this once or twice a week, and for us this is a great way of exercising our crocodile. So what you're going to see is Ash put the food in, she's going to drop it down really, really low, and then she's going to lift it up. And what she's doing is encouraging him to jump for his food. Now, that might look like we're teasing him, but that is definitely not the case. Rocky is a huge crocodile, and we need to keep him nice and fit and healthy. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And by encouraging him to jump, he uses his huge tail, and he can launch himself and get about half of his body length out of the water to catch some fish. So guys, watch carefully at exactly what Rocky is doing. So first he's going to look for the water. They have amazing eyesight. You guys might not be able to see from where you are, but he's sitting in a perfect position where just his eyes and his nostrils are above water. So that means he can see everything that Ash is doing. Even if he was underwater, these guys have a third eyelid, and that allows them to effectively have goggles. And with those goggles, he's able to see really, really clearly, even when he's underneath the water. So what we're doing now, we might drop it a little bit lower for him. Looks like he might be trying to tease Ash. And there he goes. He's starting to move. Now he's moving slowly now, but don't worry, he can move very quickly. He's going to get in position. Watch that tail, guys, because you're going to see him really move that tail, and that's how he's going to get himself out of the water. There he is. So it was a pretty poor jump compared to what he's capable of doing, but it was just a warm-up jump. So now you'll see him circle around, have a look at his big tail. That's what he's using to steer with. There we go. Did you guys hear that big chomping sound? These guys have the strongest jaw pressure of any animal in the entire world. Hey. So guys, that was one of the feeds. We do have another piece for Rocky, but first we're going to let him chow down on the piece that he caught. There you go, you can see it there. Now in the wild, these guys can hunt huge prey. So they can eat something or catch something like a buffalo or a kangaroo or a cow. And the way they do that is by their incredible stalking techniques. So if Rocky was to hunt for food, he would probably just get himself nice and comfortable on an embankment, and he would start, and he would wait. And he's just going to wait for the prey animal to come over to the water. They're going to have a drink. He might not even take them the first time. He might take them the second time or the third time, because he wants that animal to be nice and calm. When Rocky's ready, or when any crocodile's ready, they launch themselves out of the water, grab hold of that prey item, and then take it straight down to the bottom of the water. Now, as you saw, you heard that huge chomping sound that Rocky made. Normally that is enough to kill their prey. But if that doesn't work, they're actually able to hold their breath for up to an hour, and they'll drown their prey if they need to. Now, we just saw him do a jump. Someone just asked how high he can jump. The highest I've seen him get is about half of his body length out of the water when he really wants to. Somebody else asked about how old they live. So Rocky's about 35 to 40 years old. Based on his size, we estimate that to be his age. But crocodiles can get over 70. So we think that Rocky is still pretty young for his age, and he will continue to grow. But I hope you all did get a view of Rocky's first feed. We do have another one. So if you do want to hang around, please do. But what we might do to start with is maybe answer some questions that we've received. So Sophia, can you tell us about any of the questions that we've had today?
So we have a question from Thea who asks, does he eat the same food every day?
Does he eat the same food every day? Well, no, he doesn't. He doesn't eat every day because crocodiles don't need to eat every single day. Like I said, barramundi and fish are his favorite, but he also really likes kangaroo meat. And for him, that's really healthy, and that's the kind of food that we want to be feeding him. But crocodiles are incredibly opportunistic and will eat anything that they can get their hands on. So in the wild, they're known to take down animals like kangaroos or wallabies, but they'll also eat crab and fish. And when they're really little, so when they hatch, they're teeny tiny, they come out of an egg. They'll actually eat small insects and bugs and pretty much anything that they can get their hands on. What else have you got for us, Sophia?
We have another question from Aiden, who's 9. He asks, what is a crocodile's lifespan?
So crocodile's lifespan. So Rocky's only 35 years old, but we think he'll be able to live between 70 and 80. Crocodiles are a very long-lived species. What else have we got?
Dylan, age 7, asks, how high can he jump?
Oh, we already answered that one. Crocodiles can get, I don't know exactly how all crocodiles can get out of the water, but I've seen Rocky get about half of his body length out. So that's pretty impressive. If you saw his first jump, you might have thought that wasn't half his body length, and it wasn't. He might be being a little bit lazy for us today, but we've got another piece of food. We think Rocky's really keen. I'm actually going to change the camera view because you guys will be able to see Rocky looks like he's coming over to say hello. Now, if you haven't been intimidated by a crocodile before, everybody, today might be your day. Maybe he's hoping that me and Sophia are his dessert to his lunch. That is not the case, and you have nothing to worry about. We are very safe. You can see this fence here. Say hello to everyone, Sophia. We're very safe. We're all not going to be eaten by a crocodile today. But here he is. Looks like he's coming over to say hello. You can get a good look at those colors that I was talking about earlier. I can see a question here. How big are his teeth? They're all different sizes, but they can probably get up to about maybe 2 or 3 centimeters long. But he has some really small ones as well. But a really cool fact about crocodiles is that they have an endless supply of teeth. So for Rocky, if he was to kill his prey, he would have to probably be really rough to get that animal into the water. So what he would do is he would rough and tumble if he had to, but if he lost a tooth, it wouldn't be a problem because for Rocky, he's going to have another tooth just grow in that spot. You guys can have a really good look at him there. Now, we suspect that Rocky doesn't realise that he's kind of yellow and that his pond is really clean. So he probably thinks that he's really well camouflaged where he is. Sadly, he is not, but it's a good thing for us because we always like to know exactly where our crocodile is. But as he moves through the water, guys, have a close look. You'll see that the water doesn't move at all. And he has all these lumps and bumps along his back that are helping him move through the water without making a single ripple. Now, I think what we're going to do now is probably get ready for his second and final feed. It looks like he's ready to go. Let's see if we can get a nice big jump out of him this time. There we go, we've got Keeper Ash there. You can see he's getting using those back legs to steer, using his tail. There we go, he's getting in position. So that's what we want. That quick swimming is exactly the behavior we're looking for. He's nice and keen, he's ready to go. He doesn't always get 2 pieces of food in one feast. This is a very special treat for Rocky. There we go. Just waiting for him to jump. Hey, that was a pretty good one. Someone just asked if saltwater crocodiles can go into freshwater. They definitely can. In fact, most saltwater crocodiles will breed in freshwater. And Rocky here actually lives in a freshwater system. So this beautifully heated pond is freshwater for Rocky. We think Rocky weighs about 365 kilos. That's what he weighed when he arrived. He's probably a little bit heavier now, but I'm not quite brave enough to weigh him myself. There we go, guys. Now, I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you had as much fun as we did. Again, very sorry for all the technical difficulties that we had, but we have 3 videos now, 2 amazing feeds of our crocodile. We didn't get to all the questions, but hopefully we'll be able to get in touch again soon and we'll give you all of those answers that you are looking for. Now, this isn't all we're doing here at Wildlife Sydney Zoo. Our keepers are really busy looking after all of our animals. So stay in touch with all of our social channels and you'll be able to see what is coming up later this week. But guys, I'm signing off now. So goodbye from me and Sophia. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for watching us today.